The Beach FM Business Lunch Show, brought to you by PlaceMakers Kapiti and Horowhenua. Together we're building New Zealand.
Welcome back to the Business Lunch on Beach FM 106.3 with Damian, and let's welcome into the show the chair of the Kapiti Coast Chamber of Commerce. It's Jacinda Thorn. G'day, Jacinda.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. I know you're no stranger to our listeners, so how are you doing at this time?
Well, I've actually just come through 2 days of my children not being at home, which has just been amazing. We've extended our bubble, so my parents took them for a night and all of yesterday, and I actually feel really refreshed and my head has some clarity, so I feel great right now.
Amazing. Oh, you see a lot of, at the start of all this, it was like, yay, family time, and now it's, can someone please take them for a night? So, mate, I know you are the chair of the Kapiti Chamber of Commerce, but you've got such a great history. Can we just learn a bit about your story?
I guess I started, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a writer or a journalist, and so when I left high school, I went and studied broadcast journalism in Christchurch. And that kind of like kick-started my love for all things media and writing for the last, 20 years. I was just trying to think of that, how long it's been. And so I initially started in radio, and I worked in Wellington and Northland and Wairarapa and loved it. But I met my husband along the way, and we were in a long-distance relationship, and one of us had to move. So I ended up coming back to Wellington, left radio, and that was the start of 12 years for me in politics. And I worked in both opposition and in government under the key government from 2008 until 2016, which I loved. Super high pressure environment, lots and lots and lots of decision making, and you really have to be tuned in pretty much 24/7. And so I left there in 2016 and then started contracting because I have a small family and a young family. And then I decided, you know what, I've always wanted to set up my own business and combine all the skills that I've acquired over the last sort of 15 years at that point. And I started up a PR company, which is Thorn PR, and we specialise in food PR and consumer PR. And so we're based in Wellington. We've got a growing team, and so the last, sort of 4 to 5 weeks have just been flat out because obviously a lot of our clients are in that food manufacturing sector and they've had a lot of change going on. But it's been a really interesting journey, and I was thinking about this. I was reflecting on it the other day. I was talking to a client, and I guess, when you go through life's journey and you pick up all these skills, you wonder at the time what they can be useful for in the future. And it's been a really nice way to sort of package everything together and do what I love, which is media work and writing and creating content and providing that strategic advice. And I mean, the crisis at the moment is all-consuming and it's changing frequently, and it's actually the closest, I guess, I've been to being back in politics and the fast-moving pace that we would have in the beehive every day.
Wow, absolutely. Well, okay, so you go into your own business where you have 15 years of experience of doing what you do, but starting a business. So what were some of those early learnings as a business owner?
Well, I'm really fortunate to have a great accountant, and I think if I hadn't had my accountant on board, he is fantastic. Like, he is the guy you pick up the phone with any kind of question and he'll answer. I don't know if I would be in such a great position. Like, he did all the initial setup, and I've really learnt that working with experts are imperative. And then the other thing I'm thinking, I think your relationships are super important. And, at the heart of the business, it's built on relationships, and I want to foster those connections. I kind of call it Stormpier, all of our clients are like a family, and we kind of feel like we're part of all of their families as well. And we work with some really amazing brands like Hell Pizza and Wellington Chocolate Factory. And so we basically are part of like this huge range of families, I guess, and we provide like strategic advice and we do all those things, but we're also like in it with them alongside the journey. So the relationships are crucial. Good accountant, crucial. And also having the ability, I think, to plan and think ahead. And I actually think that's become more prevalent over the COVID-19 crisis because, there are some businesses who are probably sailing close to the wind anyway, who may not make it through. And then there are others who were planning but have had to pivot, and they can do that because of their planning. So the more you can plan ahead, the better. And I also work with an amazing business coach. She's locally based. Her name's Annie Romanos, and that she's been phenomenal in helping sort of hone my vision and keep me on track because it's busy, especially when you're running a business like many people are with a family.
Absolutely. Well, it is so important that those communities reach out, talk to each other, get that information from people. Is that how it led you to the Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, wow, yes. So Heather Hutchings, who was the past chair, I began working with her on Chamber's PR and media work a couple of years ago. And we built a really good relationship. She's one of my mentors still today, along with Julene and Jane Stevenson and all of those sort of foundation members of the board. And I went onto the board just over a year and a half ago. And I think for me, having been in politics, I'm really invested in the communities that I'm part of. And I want to see Kapiti succeed and do the best it can. So it was kind of always a natural fit for me to go on to the board and have that advocacy role. And I find it really fulfilling because I like giving back, but I also like using the skills that I've got to help give back as well. And, the Chamber is a fantastic network. We've got relationships up and down the country. And, we might be just the Kapiti Chamber, but we're also part of a national network. So we've got lots and lots of other chambers we work with, and we get expertise from, particularly the Wellington Chamber. So it's always been a goal of mine to get involved with the community, and the Chamber for me is just the best way possible I can give back.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure you've had a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of talks with everybody.
Yeah.
How is the feels in the business community at the moment?
Yeah, I guess like a lot of people out there, they're in a little bit of Zoom purgatory. You go from one Zoom meeting to another. And I must say, look, the technology that we've got connecting us is just amazing. Like I was thinking about 10 years ago, if this had happened, how would we have coped? And we're part of a really supportive community. That's the one thing that I've immediately noticed. Our businesses are doing everything they can to help each other out. And you'll see we've got the local online market, which has started up on Facebook. We've got a range of initiatives we've got underway. So the council and the chamber are partnering to deliver a bunch of webinars over the next 12 weeks that are aimed at, helping businesses with the practical aspects of getting through, but also the holistic aspects, so your well-being and your resilience and how you can be more agile. And so they've been really well received, actually, and people are really leaning in to understanding the crisis and what they can do. And look, there are some businesses out there that may not reopen, and we're really realistic about that. Obviously the commercial rents is an interesting situation because we need the landlords to be really understanding and pass on or share some of that weight with their tenants. And I know the government's looking at legislation which couldn't come fast enough. But, there are a few factors in place. So the wage subsidy has been really helpful, I know, for lots of businesses. But I guess for us, we've noticed we're okay at the moment. It's getting, when we get past that 12-week mark and the wage subsidy runs out, what's going to happen then? Infometrics been providing us with some amazing data, and look, they're really frank and open that we are in a recession, but we will also recover. And so what we want our businesses to start thinking, and which we're seeing come through in lots of different ways, is how do we recover? So you would have seen quite a few people out there being really innovative with deliveries, online classes, and I actually am really encouraged to see how people are adapting and rising to the challenge.
Absolutely. Well, there'll probably be some people out there wanting to be part of these networks, wanting to get this advice that they probably didn't even know that was out there. So where can people find you guys? Where can they get this information?
Well, you can go to kapitichamber.org.nz, and we've actually got a new initiative we rolled out just the other day, and for the next sort of 12 plus weeks, we are doing a free advertising offer for our members. So any of our members can send through a free advert, and we're going to put those into a weekly kind of update that goes out to our business community. And I just want to say a big shout out to everyone who sent me stuff, and we've been inundated, which is fantastic to see. So people are, starting to think about the future and how they get through. So you can go to the Chamber website. We're on Facebook, and we've also got LinkedIn. And also the council has a great set up on their website. They've got the Love Kapiti website page, and they've also got lots of information on their website as well. And it's just about, reaching out and asking people for help, I think. Like, if you do need help, we really want to encourage you to get in touch with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. You can go to Facebook Messenger, or you can email myself on chair@kapitichamber.org.nz, and just, we're here to help. And I guess that's our main message is you're not in this alone by any stretch. So, any question, we're here. And I really also want to encourage, all the individual networks. So we've got like Kapiti Women Mean Business. We've got our Women in Business groups. We've also got all the other business networks around the area. Everyone is really sort of stepping up and trying to help each other out, which is lovely to see.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for your time today to talk your story and the Chamber of Commerce. I look forward to having you back on.
Yeah, so, hey, and stay well in your bubble.